Namaste beautiful yogis, and today we are starting a challenge. It is going to be, I want to call it mental detox challenge. I in particular don't mean to call it an emotional detox challenge, but a mental detox challenge, because I want to address something more simple, something that is more on the surface, so that we can ease into this type of challenges and also start working from the small towards the big. Now, what do I mean by a mental challenge? Maybe even we can call it a word detox, even, or a word fast, or a speech fast, something like that. If you have a better suggestion, let me know in the comments below. Now I'll explain what I mean. I've been meaning to start this challenge for myself for 3 weeks now, and then I mentioned it to a few people and everybody thought it's a cool idea. I have done this in the past when I was younger with amazing results, so I figured, well, people also like it. I will invite you to join me on this challenge, and instead of making it a whole month challenge, I'll make it a week challenge, so it's doable, and after that we'll take it from there. We can deepen it, or we can continue the same thing. What will we do? We are going to choose a simple mental or internal dialogue, or even external dialogue pattern that is repeated through our day, or at least it is something that we find ourselves in the habit of doing quite often. Example would be something simple. For example, judging others, expressing criticism towards others, family members, or just people in society, or self-judgment, of course. And it can be something you say or something you think. But how you know it is generally considered negative, because negative and positive is again judgment. But to simplify things, the way we understand it's negative, it is because how it makes us feel. If you don't feel elevated and light from a thought, but you keep going back to it, then for the purposes of this challenge, we'll call it negative, and we will abstain from that thought the way we'll abstain from food during a fast. So this is going to be almost like fasting with our words, or detoxing our speech, something of that in that nature. It is going to be different for everybody. Now, for me, the reason why I wanted to do it is, in general, I feel very light and elated and excited and creative during the day. But if I'm tired, or if I fall into a pattern that is not positive, that would be disappointment in the fact that we live in a society that is not awakened. And although I consider that to be a fact, it is not doing anything for me to remind myself this like every other week or something like that, to just kind of feel a little bit sad about the state of the world. Now, even though that is true, or maybe it's true in my world, in the universe I create in my head, that doesn't help me in any way feel good, better myself, be creative, or offer. So basically I figured I'm just able, this is not a deep-seated thing for me. It is not something that I need to dig deep and heal trauma and stuff like this. It's just a mental pattern, or something that I can quickly switch. So I will just abstain from it and just focus on the things that make me feel good. For you, it can be the self-criticism. It can be criticizing your partner, your child, your parents. It can be criticizing your coworkers, being jealous. Jealousy is a big one for humans. It could be jealousies that you don't realize you have. It's more of you kind of disapprove of people that you're jealous of. So just kind of being conscious of yourself and your thought patterns. Pick one thing, write it down in a journal, and during this week, 7 days, just write down every day how you did, maybe reflection first thing in the morning, the way we did the morning pages. You can wake up in the morning and just sketch down your reflections with a fresh mind before you talk to other people or read emails, or before you do anything else. Keep your mind very fresh from the state of sleep and write a few things down. You can do it in the way we did morning pages, stream of consciousness, where you write 3 pages non-stop without stopping, even if it's like I'm running out of thoughts, I don't know what to say anymore, because you will break through and get places. You don't have to journal that much. You can just sketch down in the beginning of the day and at the end of the day how your challenge went. And if it didn't go well, that's fine. Now, another suggestion I have for you, and I have done this way in the past, was to just abstain from cursing, because in general a lot of words in our language, there is words in our words matter. Let's start with that. They're vibrations and they resonate in the universe for eternity, higher and higher octave, higher and higher vibration. So they resonate and they change in some way the entire universe. We're all interconnected and we're all one, so our mental pattern goes into the universe and it contributes to the collective conscious. So you bettering yourself is the greatest service you can do to humanity, to the universe, not just to yourself. So starting with the simple things, starting with the external. The words are the external of the internal, right? The words are the external reflection of the thoughts. The way the body is the external reflection of the emotions. And we'll get to that later, that the body is the emotions. The words are the external reflection of your thoughts, of your thinking pattern. So just abstaining from saying negative words that do not elevate you, even things that are just ways you are used to talk, even if that doesn't affect anybody around you, meaning if it's just negative words. One option is cussing. Another would be just how you speak, in what terms you put things. For example, you could be in the habit of saying, the problem with this is, and when you start a sentence with this, you're already bringing the word problem into the situation instead of finding a more positive way of expressing that same thought. And a lot of us have ways of thinking or ways of speaking that are always repetitively bringing the same negative thing. Don't be sad instead of cheer up, things like this. You can choose your words and be more mindful of your words and choose more positive words throughout your day, so that you're starting to do that mental or that word detox or speech detox. And it's funny because I did ask in the group, hey guys, what is a mental pattern that is stopping you from moving forward, from being the highest version of yourself and so forth? And all of you, or 90% of you, went deep, because you're a deep bunch of people. So you went deep. You went into the core issues for you, because you have enough self-honesty to understand your core issues. You're not a surface level person. So all of you went deep. We're not gonna go that deep with this challenge, because literally there is no small things that we can correct. Now, if you have fears of dying, of failure, those are a little deeper seated. Those require a little bit of unlearning, because a lot of our fears are basically conditioning. They're the result of conditioning, early childhood experiences, what we have been taught at school, religious teachings, just beliefs of others that have been enforced on you or enforced on us. So basically those things require digging a little deeper. But one thing I wanna express, it's my deepest belief that we can change in an instant. the whole movement of we have to heal forever and it's a lifetime of healing and healers and psychiatrists and all of that, it's only true if you believe it is true. I have had experiences of instantaneous healing of the heart, of the mind. So it's, in my belief, it's totally possible, and whatever we believe in, obviously we create it. So by the way, this is so pretty. It's from the latest Yogi box, and it is, I'll tell you now, it came with a matching bracelet with a little bit of there is a tree there. Came with this matching bracelet which has a little tree. It's I want to say it's coral. Let's see. No, it's, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Well, it's yew wood. So that's the wood part, and it's fire agate. Fire agate. I knew it was something fire. All right, which is for promote stability, composure, and maturity. Its warm, protective properties encourage security and self-confidence. Let the warmth of this beautiful necklace help ease your transition into the winter season. Very cool, because I will wear it for the winter season. So back to my thought. I do believe that healing can be instantaneous, and to believe that you're forever screwed up and that you forever have to heal and something is innately wrong with you, that is something that my entire soul rebels against, because it is true only if we believe it's true. We are very dynamic beings. We have been through a lot. Our souls have been through a lot, whatever your beliefs are, but I'm expressing mine, obviously. I can only express mine. And we have been able to evolve a lot. So to think that you're stuck in the same place and you have no option out just because something happened in your childhood, that is not my belief. I believe in absolute healing, in absolute transformation, and anything is possible, especially when you forget that Western way of thinking that we are all raised under, well, a lot of us are raised under, and it's of self-importance. There is this feeling of we're so all isolated and we're so separate, that brings a feeling of self-importance, which turns ironically into low self-esteem, because it can never be reached. That self-importance is not reflected in how the universe works. So basically that overindulgence in the self brings about low self-esteem. The more we forget about the self and we externalize our passions, the happier we become, because we're not thinking about ourselves. We're giving, or we're offering, we're creating, we're being ecstatic, because there is that state that we can tap into, that joyous, ecstatic state of existence. So I think I will try to post this on Sunday so that we have a day to prepare for Monday. Grab a journal, at least 7 pages, so that you can in the morning write a little bit about this challenge, what you anticipate or what you're gonna do this day, and in the evening how it went and how you will prepare for tomorrow, what you will do tomorrow, and same thing. As far as fears, I can do talks and offer obviously more meditations and yogas on subjects that I feel that I can be helpful in. Obviously I have consciously dug into a lot of patterns, mental patterns, beliefs, fears and such since I was very young. It was my drive. So I can offer in the areas where I feel that I can be of help with. Fears are generally a little deeper seated because, as I said, they're part of programming or part of survival mechanism, obviously. So for us, it's a matter of consciously facing them. It's a matter of reprogramming, repatterning the mind and how we structure our mind during the day, because even fears fall under patterns. We are in the pattern of think in a certain way about a certain topic. Now, fear of death, I would say that is a cultural fear and a religious fear, because depending on which society you grow up in or how you have been thought to look at death, that will obviously affect how you are going to look at death. Now, to fear death is one of the most useless fears, I would say, because you're going to go through your entire life fearing something that you have to do and might as well be excited about, because it's not an end, it's a transition, and it's basically change. Regardless of what you believe in. It is a change. Obviously, you're gonna shed the body, which is a relief, of course, because you don't want to live here forever. I don't think there is one person that wants to stay here for eternity, and I don't think anybody wants to be 130 years old and living in a 130 years old body, as healthy as we are. So it's just something to it's a way of looking at it. We can get excited about, you know, a journey that we're gonna be on after. At least that can be something to kind of share. So let me know if you want daily logins from me, little short brief kind of contemplations, or just me logging in, uploading a video, sharing my thoughts about the challenge, answering questions and so forth. I think starting small is great, because obviously in a week we although it's possible, most likely we're not gonna, you know, change something massive, but it is totally possible. But we can definitely detox from a certain way of speaking, saying negative things, having a negative internal dialogue, having self-criticism, something that is more of a pattern, kind of like a surface pattern, thought pattern, rather than some of the deeper stuff. We can get into the deeper stuff. We have been working on the deeper with my classes. I generally try to bring awareness about it, but I also think that it's mindfulness through the day that can get you to shift your perspective. And if you have low confidence and all of that, some of it is healing the past and healing the traumas, but a lot of it is also understanding your pure true nature, which is eternal. It is divine. It's one of the whole, and in that regard, obviously, you will shed the ego that is the source of pain. You're not gonna lose identity by shedding the ego in that way. You're just gonna lose the negative ways the ego is serving you or is affecting you, or your own ego is leading you in negative patterns. So I think that's about it. Now let me know if you have questions and I'll try to answer them. If you want daily logs from me, I can do little daily talks. The answers you gave me are amazing, and none of them is about a mental pattern. So and I forgot to mention, in the past when I was 18, 19, somewhere there is the first time I realized I have to really mind my words, not say negative things, try to be very mindful of how I word my sentences. So instead of in a negative way, I can always choose to say something in a positive way. And for example, I hope I will be healthy. Well, hope is a weak word. Find a better word, find a stronger word, find something that actually implies that you are going to put action into it, more intention, rather than, well, I'll passively sit and hope that maybe it will happen. Things like this. Just become mindful. I can, in the daily logins, give you more examples of things that we're just used to doing constantly. For me, it will be, even though that's not a daily thing for me, it will be just to not ever go into the disappointment of humanity or the world or where consciousness is, because you don't want to constantly ache for the world or for the suffering or for animals or something like this. You don't want to ache for the fact that, you know, there is millions of animals being killed every year. All those things that just kind of sadden us, they don't serve us. Once you know it, with action, move forward. create. Be ecstatic, be joyous, because there is that. You can tap. We have innate joy and innate sadness for the rest of humanity, because we're all interconnected, but we also have the divine joy within us. So it's a matter of choosing. With the words, I realized back then that just negative cussing words and all of those, they just lower my vibrations down, and ultimately I don't feel better by doing that. It just lowers the value I experience from life, the experience I have from life. So basically, choose what you're gonna abstain from. Take it as a fast, the way sometimes people give up white sugar or something for fasting, for Lent or whatever. Choose something that you're just going to abstain from, some pattern that is your typical pattern. For everybody, that pattern is something different. We're talking here mental patterns, thought patterns, speech patterns, things we are kind of in the habit of. And by the way, post in the comments below what you're gonna work on. If you have questions, post them please, because I'm gonna address them through this week. And post what you're going to do, because that will help other people identify their own patterns. In case they're not aware of their own patterns, it will give them ideas. So post what your thoughts about this are, what you're going to do. And I'm excited about this. We are going to have a week of purifying our mind instead of detoxing the body. Let's work on the mind. Namaste.